ready to go. Allegro Queen rearing high, Allegro Queen. Racing Rocklea, Trust Mitzi got away well, not as fast as That's Life who galloped and out wide. Good Night Annie, look at her go. It's Good Night Annie and Trust Mitzi vying for the lead as they went to the back straight. Good Night Annie began brilliantly and went straight into the lead. Good Night Annie by 2 lengths, Trust Mitzi missing a stride out wide. Unigitana, That's Life was hustled up along a rail, a gap then to Good Fella who began at the rate of knots. He's running into 5th position on the outside of Blue Carousel. A long gap to Match Miss, and further back there was Allegro Queen with Bronco Pasadena, and the tail end of Johnny Hates Jazz right out of business in the first circuit, and Steve Woodward had Good Night Annie piloting the field onto the bend, being tackled by Unigitana. Oh, Barry Edwards is in no man's land at the moment, out 3 deep going up to join the leaders. Over on the fence, That's Life with Trust Mitzi going into the back, and Good Night Annie was the leader. Unigitana is racing second with Good Fella covering a lot of ground wide on the track, and then came That's Life up along the rail. A gap then to Trust Mitzi and a break then of 2 lengths to Blue Carousel. Along the back they go. Good Night Annie being challenged by Good Fellow on the outside. Good Fellow's done plenty of work. In third spot was That's Life railing through inside. Unigitana dropping to 4th. A length then to Trust Mitzi around Blue Carousel. That's your field at the moment. A long way back then to Matt Smith, followed by Bronco Pasadena. Allegro Queen is a distant second last tail end of Johnny Hates Jazz. Coming onto the turn, 1 lap to go. Good Night Annie and Good Fella, the 2 leaders. Good Night Annie's going okay on the rails, believe me, and past the judge, and they head to the back. Good Night Annie by a head. Good Fella driven along now, responding. In third spot, That's Life, and then Blue Carousel. A break to Unigitana and Trust Mitzi. Good Night Annie going as well as Good Fella at the moment, and kicks away about a length. In third spot was That's Life with battling on Blue Carousel, but Good Night Annie said goodbye, Good Fella, and down the side they go. Good Night Annie is home and hosed near the turn. Good Night Annie kicks out by 3 lengths to Good Fella who's flat a long way back to Blue Carousel, and That's Life, but stringing them over plenty of ground on straightening. Good Night Annie far too good. It was a top run here last week, and Good Night Annie won easily. Good Night Annie by 4 lengths to Good Fella. Third Blue Carousel, a distant 4th That's Life just in front of Trust Mitzi. Then Matt Smith, a long gap. Unigitana got tired. Allegro Queen, and then Bronco Pasadena, and we're still awaiting the arrival of Johnny Hates Jazz. Promising filly, Good Night Annie, driven by Stephen Woodward. A filly by Fast Night from Cheeky Annie. Number 7, Good Night Annie, the winner, driven by S.K. Woodward. Second placing to number 12, Good Fella, Barry Edwards. And third went to number 10, Blue Carousel. Win there to Good Night Annie, raced by J.M. Woodward, trainer and driver Stephen Woodward, won the start and was never going to be beaten. A brown filly by Fast Night from Cheeky Annie, and ran the time of 2:19, a mile rate of 2:12.3, 11 metres and 9 metres, 11 by 9, 2:12.3 was the mile rate, 2:12.3. Quite a good run by Good Fella. It covered a lot of ground, extra ground in the run. Good Fella by What a Fella, driven by Barry Edwards, coming from the 10 metres. Third Blue Carousel by Linton's Way, driven by Roy Garwood. Fourth went for That's Life, and fifth Trust Mitzi. 11 metres and 9 metres, 2:19, 2:12.3 after the running of the Sheer Flattery 2-year-old stakes. Won in very easy fashion by Goodnight Annie, and there's the All Clear. All Clear. The numbers are 7, 12 and 10. Goodnight Annie first, Goodfella second, Blue Carousel third, All Clear. Now the third race today, the Silk Reflections 3-year-old, scratchings 8 and 9, and no driving chains. And don't forget, for the boys and girls, the pony rides in the centre of the track, starting at 2 o'clock.